zakatable assets. After you get those zakatable assets, that lump sum, that grand sum, then you will give 2.5% of that in zakat. 2.5% of all the zakatable assets, the monetary value, will be given as zakat. 2.5% is the same thing as 1/40th, chaliswa hissa. Same thing. You can either divide by 40, whatever sum you get, you divide by 40, or you give 2.5%, whichever calculation makes easy for you. Both are the same, exactly the same thing. For example, a person added up his money and cash and gold and silver and other things which are zakatable. He got the value of $40,000. So how much zakat will he give? He will give 1/40th of that. Chaliswa hissa. Yani 2.5%. Yani out of the 40,000, he will give $1,000 in zakat to the poor people. That will be his zakat. If a person added up all his property or zakatable assets and it turned out to be $120,000, then 120,000 divided by 40 is $3,000. 120,000, 2.5% is $3,000. Sounds like a math class, but it's very necessary. We need to do this. This is part of our deen. If you don't give our zakat properly, then our mal will be ruined, and a very grievous punishment. And it's the pillar of Islam. And zakat is due on everybody in the household who has the nisab. A woman who has her own jewelry and her own cash, if her jewelry, gold and silver, and her cash add up to the nisab or more, she has to give zakat. If the husband wants to give zakat on her behalf, or she forces the husband to give zakat on her behalf, there has to be permission. There has to be permission, and she must know it, that my husband is giving zakat on my behalf. If her husband is giving the zakat on behalf of the wife or anybody, and she doesn't know it, then the zakat will not be fulfilled. So it's necessary, and her wealth is separate, and the husband's wealth is separate. If the child who's above 15, he or she has their own wealth, maybe a girl, she has her own jewelry, a boy, he has his own money, he has his own job, or he got money for Eid, etc., and that reaches the nisab, he has to give the zakat. Yes, if the father wants to give zakat on behalf of the children, again, permission must be there, ijazat must be there, and the children must know that the zakat is being given on my behalf. Zakat is not a family-wise, that every family will give one zakat. Every individual in the family, or every Muslim, their nisab is separate, or their zakat will be given separately. Another thing that we have to be careful about zakat is very, very specific. Zakat is very strict. There are two types of fi sabilillah that we give. One is the zakat, which is the fard, once a year. Then is the other, the general sadaqah. Sometimes the word sadaqah is used for zakat also, but here I'm mentioning general sadaqah. General sadaqah can be given to anybody. You can even give general sadaqah to a non-Muslim, no problem. But zakat can only be given to Muslim, and not to every Muslim. Sometimes we just put some money in the box and it says zakat ho gayi. No, it's not like that. You have to make sure, first of all, you have to make sure how much you're taking out. Yes, if you want to give more, no problem. Zakat, you can even give in advance. Maybe your zakat is due 5 months later. If you want to give now, you can give now, no problem. That's also jaiz, that's also permissible. Or maybe you want to, your zakat, you take it out now, you calculate it, you take it out, but you want to give it throughout the year, because right now you don't have any poor people that you know. So you take out the zakat now, you separate it, you calculate it, you separate it, and during the year you give it to the poor people that you find or that you know about. So zakat has to be given to a Muslim, and zakat has to be given to a Muslim who is mustahiq. Mustahiq means who is eligible for zakat. If I give my zakat to a Muslim who is not mustahiq, then my zakat is not fulfilled. And who is mustahiq? That person who does not have the nisab. Inshallah, again, we can go to the ulama and muftis and talk to them. They will explain to us what is nisab exactly. But basically, if the person is not eligible, and if I give my zakat to that person, then my zakat will not be fulfilled. So I have to make sure. Make sure means I don't have to go too deep. But if I feel I have itminan that this person is mustahiq, then I can give my zakat to that person. Zakat cannot be used for building a masjid. Zakat cannot be used for building a hospital. Zakat cannot be used for building a madrasa, the building. Zakat cannot be used for giving kafan for dead people. These are all things which are very good. A person should spend on them, but you cannot use zakat for those things. Yes, if the madrasa people take the zakat and they give it to the mustahiq students, the students who are eligible, then this is jaiz. This is permissible. And not only that, one of the best ways to give zakat is to give to madrasa. Why? Because not only will you be giving to zakat, your zakat will be fulfilled. Second of all, mashallah, the ulama in the madrasas, they usually take care of the masail of zakat. They usually know that you have to give zakat in the right way to the right people. Third is that you are helping the ilm of deen, the ilm of Quran, ilm of hadith. You are propagating the ilm. So in zakat, and zakat is also, generally speaking, we should also try to give to our relatives also. Our relatives, our family members, this also, when you give zakat to your relatives, you are getting the reward of zakat and you're getting the reward of silatul rahim. Silatul rahim means having good relation with your family members. But remember, you cannot give zakat to your spouse. A husband cannot give zakat to his wife. A wife cannot give her husband's zakat. I cannot give zakat to my father or my grandfather or my grandparents. I cannot give zakat to my children or my grandchildren. But I could give them to my uncle, to my aunt, my cousins, my brothers and sisters, especially if they live separately. Then I can give like this. But I cannot give above my parents and grandparents. I cannot give zakat to my children and grandchildren. And Mia Bibi cannot give zakat to each other. If we fulfill the aspects of zakat, inshallah we hope from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept. Just like fasting is a purification of our body, zakat is a purification of our wealth. And this is a very good time to give the zakat. We should learn about, not only about zakat, but all the pillars of deen and all about our deen. And to learn deen, we have to take out some time. We have to be in the right environment. If I don't take out time for deen and come to the masjid and sit with the ulama and with the pious people, how am I going to learn my deen? It's not possible. I have to learn my deen myself and make sure my iman is strong enough that I can fulfill the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and for my children also. So for children, what we need to do, we have to send them to the maktab. Yes, if our children are in school for 4, 5, 6 hours a day, and if they're not coming to the maktab, how are they going to learn Quran? How are they going to learn zakat? How are they going to learn who Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is? It's so important that I myself make intizam, make arrangement, make schedule to spend some time in the masjid, and also my children also. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and all of us tawfiq, we can understand and we can practice. Inshallah, we will have first azan now, inshallah. First azan, then after azan, we will be doing the sunnah, inshallah.
You go upstairs.